Okay, I'm going to call this meeting of the Festus Tourism Commission to order. Roll call. Melody Jesberg. Here. Pat Parsons. Here. Rhonda Gershner. Here. Mike Cage.
Here.
And Rick Fisher. So can I have a motion to approve? Well, actually, can I have a motion to make an adjustment to the agenda? We had a late addition for the new scrim for Crides Park stage. If you approve it, we can put it around number 23 to replace mine, and mine would be 24.
I make that motion.
Okay.
I make that motion.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. Then I will need to have someone approve the minutes from December 16th of 2020. Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so now is the time to appoint the chair. So if you guys want to think about if there's somebody that you would like to nominate to be the chair.
I don't need that portions.
Okay, all those in favor, does anybody, are you guys good with that? Or do we do anything else or that, can I say? Okay, can I do a roll call for this? Okay, Mike Cage.
Yes.
Don't pressure Mike. Rhonda Gershner,
Yes.
Melody Jesberg,
Yes.
Pat Parsons.
Yes.
So Pat, you are the new chair. Congratulations.
Not sure.
I'm not prepared for this, just to forewarn everyone.
Okay, so we have the presentation of from the Jefferson County Tourism Commission.
Well, hi, guys. I'm Tom Polsell, the owner of Villantonia Winery.
I'm
And-
Scott Seat. I'm the chair of the Jefferson County Tourism Commission.
The president, yeah,
Yeah, or whatever we call it.
right. In any case, we would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for your generous gift to help get the Jefferson County Tourism Commission started. You guys, along with the cities of Arnold, Peasley, and the JCGA are kind of the founding fathers of the Tourism Commission. And we also wanted to take a minute just to kind of highlight what we've been able to accomplish with the funds that you were able to give us. So we have a new logo. So if you could click on our mission statement. The main thing to emphasize on the mission statement is simply that we are not here for any one entity, not one city, not one region. We are here to promote tourism and economic growth through tourism for the entire county. You can continue. So here's our thank you, and this is on our webpage and in lots of other locations. But we want to be transparent and and aware of the people that have helped us get to this point. Board of Directors, as you can see, Scott's the president. We tried to make sure that we represent different industries, tourism-related industries, as well as the different cities and municipalities throughout the county.
Real quick on the board of directors, we have the executive board of directors, and we also have an advisory committee board of directors that also comes to the meetings. It's nice to have that so that we have people from different areas of interest that are coming in and helping us to make decisions on how we promote the tourism in Jefferson County as well.
You can continue. And we'll just keep it rolling.
And definitely come and see visit jeffersoncounty.com if you haven't. Would really like for you to visit the website. That's going to be a large portion of what we've done so far. So www.visitjeffersoncounty.com. Very good.
It's a really good plug. No. One of the cool things I think on the webpage is the ability to click on plan a day trip. And basically, if you click on that, it will just like take you through what would you like to do, And then it can guide you into different activities throughout the county. This is Festus's page on the webpage. Again, it's just a quick description of the city and some of the opportunities of things to do here. Again, just kind of some basic information on the Tourism Commission. Now, one of the main things we've done with some of the funding is radio. Again, we're just trying to build the brand and we're trying to get the word out. So in addition to building the webpage, we've done quite a bit of advertising through iHeartMedia. And the statistics show on the next page.
Can they hear?
Join the Jefferson County Tourism Commission as they discuss future plans for the county at a happy hour meet and greet Wednesday, May 19th from 4 to 7 p.m. at La Chance Winery in Kimmswick. Appetizers and drinks will be served. RSVP now at visitjeffersoncounty.com. Explore the beauty of Jefferson County, Missouri, home to some of the top wineries, breweries, parks, historic sites, eateries, and golf courses in the area. Go to visitjeffersoncounty.com and plan your trip today. Your next vacation is just minutes away.
The Jefferson County Tourism Commission invites you to explore the natural beauty around every corner. From historic places to scenic views, fabulous wineries, some rather unique microbreweries, even their own local raceway. Jefferson County offers endless attractions for every member of the family. Learn more at visitjeffersoncounty.com. Go ahead, get out, explore the natural beauty of Jefferson County today.
He's got such a great radio voice.
Yeah, it sounds good. So on the statistics side, those radio spots reached over 1 million listeners throughout the St. Louis and greater St. Louis region. So I know our web traffic is up, more people are visiting the calendar. And ultimately, I think we're going to be really successful in drawing more people to activities in Jefferson County. We also hosted a meet and greet down in Kimmswick. Scott was one of the speakers.
Yeah, I just kind of ad-lib things, and then they give me a microphone, and then I can't get rid of it. So I've got that politician's problem there. But luckily, the mayor of Kimmswick was there, and he likes the microphone more than I do. So he took it from me, and it was good. So
it worked out. But it was surprising to see how many people of note from throughout Jefferson County and the state were there. I actually didn't know a lot of them, but I think Scott did. So.
It was very successful. We had a lot of people there who we had. It was
over 100.
Yeah,
it was over 100 people.
And it was a lot of good people, and all of them very interested in seeing Jefferson County grow and succeed, especially in the tourism area. All right, and this just kind of shows a few of the natural resources. I mean, we have a lot of natural resources that we do not pay attention to, and we're hoping to change that. You can go into the next one, the rivers, and then of course this is your area.
My favorite slide, yeah. One of the best things that I can think of to do is to go hit a winery or a brewery, and luckily we have a lot of good selections. So I do think that the wineries and breweries do draw a lot of people. So it is well placed on the webpage.
And so here we had the first cruise come in to Kimmswick, and we were there in force. We did have people there, and so we are really working with a number of people, especially in the future, to be able to bring people from the cruise lines into the different areas. And so we hope to see where that leads us. But that is definitely a future movement that we want. We don't want them just to stay in Kimmswick. There's too many people that are going to be there. We want them to go through Kimmswick and then come down here, maybe run a beer and wine tour, and maybe some other things. I mean, not everybody does, but we'll be doing something in the area that really features all the different areas. So we wanted to say, we're working on that area. And I think it's really cool future for us in this area. But, all right, and so
basic contact information.
Yeah, so and that's probably the end of the slides as far as that goes. The big thing is thank you for helping us get off the ground. We've got a few mountains we still have to climb, and we want your input. We want if there's more that we can be doing, if there's other things that we can be doing, I know that Sharon's going to reach out probably to you and try to make sure that we're hitting everything that you guys are doing, because we want to make sure that we're a very collaborative effort in there. But if there's things that we can be doing to synergize those goals, please, let's stay in good communication on that. So we want to do that. But thank you, thank you. Any questions for us right now?
We want you to share the Facebook page. We'll get more people there to drive, our counties.
The Festus Facebook page?
We have ours too.
Yeah, the JCTC. Yes, yeah, okay.
Go on there, like it, share it.
Mhm.
And,
Yes.
and we'll put anything on there that they've got going on too to help.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. So anything that's happening with the and I was pointing at you and you. Yeah. I meant to
It's
go on.
tough back here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't do that to you. Yeah. It will be having a conversation with you. Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Yeah. Yeah. If there's something that we can be doing, we want to make sure that we're doing. So we want to make sure that our Facebooks are connecting, that all of our socials are connecting, that all of our anything that is needed are all connecting to each other. Because yes, like Rhonda said, if we're doing that, then all of a sudden the traffic's moving back and forth. We have been exponentially growing our traffic since we started the ads and all that. That's real good. I think that people do, it's real easy to get people to remember. Go to visit jeffersoncounty.com. And so if we want to drive that traffic into Festus, we can do that. If we can drive that traffic into different areas, we've got radio spots, we've got radio ads running. We can change them at any time. So if Festus is needing a big push towards that, we can push and help, you help fund us. What we're trying to do with those dollars is drive the people towards you guys. So yeah, let's collaborate. We don't just want your money to go, we want your money to grow. So yeah.
And look on there because your business is on there. You want to look at that. If we're representing you right.
Yeah, very good. Excellent. Thank
Well,
you. Thank you.
And last plug for the webpage, the calendar of events is kind of what we think is going to be the main driver. If people around St. Louis can get used to going to our calendar events to see what's happening, and if the cities and the wineries and everyone's represented there, then that in itself is going to funnel a lot of traffic to our county.
I have a question for you. Is the riverboat a one-time deal? If it is, or every 4 months it's going to come to Kingswood? What is any kind of plan to have a return?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I believe the plan is there's multiple riverboat companies that are planning to begin regular tours. Now, what's the definition of regular tours? I don't rightly know at this time, but there's a lot of interest. I don't know how many deals have been inked, but
I've had a number of conversations with a few of the owners of the riverboat boats, and I think what their goal is if you look at like the European riverboat tours and cruises and stuff like that, I think that's what they want. And so I think what you're going to see is probably 2 to 3 dockings a week is the goal at some day, at some point. Yeah.
Kingswood is the drawing board.
Yeah.
I mean, we have nothing. And hopefully they would load up a bus and take it out to the winery in Hillsville, take them over here, take them to the break, and make a circuit.
Right.
Here.
the plan, what we need to do is, we need to work together and develop tours that these passengers on riverboats can sign up for a short excursion, have bus transportation that will take them to multiple locations, and then deliver them safely back at the boat so they can.
So the Duchess has their own bus tour that comes up the river with them, and at each of those stops grabs their passengers. Not all of them have that. So what we want to do through a collaboration, through a partnership, through something, we don't quite have that down yet, is to at least create that ability to mimic that same tour that you're talking about, that the passengers can get on and be a part of with each of the cruises, and the cruise lines don't have to have their own bus tour to run that up there. Or if we do it in such a good way, they just leave their buses at home and let us be the ones handling it. That means that the tourism dollars go to us and to the tourism areas here. So not just booked through whatever system that they have running. So I think that could be a real, that's something I talked about with Dan Shaw today. So that leads into the next conversation that we'll have a conversation with. But anyway, yeah, that's who we're thinking that right off the bat would be a partner, but I have not talked to the Huskies yet about that. So yeah,
Right.
Absolutely. Yep. Good question. Absolutely. Anything else for us? Well, we thank you very much. Thank you. Please be in touch with us. And do you know how to contact us? Have you been in touch with Sharon at all?
Briefly.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll make sure that you guys connect. That'd be awesome. So, very good.
All right, thank you
All
again.
right. Thank you.
guys. See ya.
I
Do
would,
we need to stick
I would
around?
remind the commission to please turn on their microphones when they're speaking.
Thank you.
Are we good with going?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Sorry you couldn't hear me there, Scott.
I know, it was really tough.
So the first person is Jim Berger. Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen Mayor Cage in a long time. How you doing? I haven't seen you in a long time. And you were right about leaving those nets up over the winter. I didn't, they're shoveling snow out there to play pickleball in January. They were actually cleaning off the courts. Did everybody get a chance to read this proposal? Okay, then I don't have to say a whole lot. One of the major concerns about Jokers right now is the perpetual flooding we have in the parking lot for a variety of different reasons. And also the berm that's on the south side, I guess that used to protect the homes that were down there. That causes a lot of backflow of water, which subsumes underneath the courts, which is probably the cause of a lot of our major crack problems that we have on a year-to-year basis. Other than the fact that asphalt's 38 years old, and it's very, very brittle. But Larry, about 6-7 years ago, figured out we could spend a couple grand a year, $2,000 or so, and repair it every year and bring it up to snuff, and generally we do. But every 5 or 6 years, according to the contractor that we've used, it really needs an update. And so in the proposal, I have an annual repair of $3,000. Generally, we spend about $2,200 on repairs. I asked for a little bit more. Or the opportunity to completely redo the court with 3 or 4 layers. And you were in on that the first time we did that. Was it 5, 6? I don't even remember.
At least 7 years.
It was a long time ago. Anyhow, would be a complete overhaul with a ground base of hard silica or sand in the bottom layer, which is like a tarry black, and then covered with 2 or 3 layers of paint with silica, which is a fine sand, and then color, and then the stripes, and everything completely repaired. All the cracks completely repaired to the best they can in 38-year-old asphalt. If we can't repair it, though, we shouldn't even consider it. If we can't get that, if we can't get some sort of a drainage system to the north side where has everybody been down to Jokers? Have seen the courts on the commission? The rest from the restrooms on down, and we talked about that hill 5-6 years ago, that water subsumes and goes underneath the courts from that area. Also, since we first tore down the skateboard park, there's been construction on 3 of the 4 sides. We had the urgent care center, which had heavy equipment in there pounding around. We had the pipe that was laid on the east side. And then we had on the north side, we had when we were building the new restrooms, which are really great now, that anytime that soil gets disturbed, particularly on brittle asphalt, what am I told? I don't know anything. I'm a political science major, which means I have no skills in anything except listening to what people tell me. They tell me that because it's brittle like that, any movement of the soil will crack that. And that's what we have every year, perpetually. Now, getting back to why we need this. Tomorrow night, we got intermediate play at Jokers Park. People coming in from 2 or 3 states. Wednesday night, we got it booked with advanced players from Southern Indiana, Illinois. Why do they come to us? Where else is there to go? They meet here because that's where the competition from St. Louis can easily come down here. and meet that from some rural areas that don't have that competition, and they meet here. As opposed to meeting at Tower Grove Park, where they get the pleasure of spending $10 for 2 hours and their license plate stolen. So they don't prefer that. They prefer here. And they're coming up, and it's a weekly thing. It's every Tuesday and Wednesday night. Our big hope is we don't have enough courts. We have 6 courts. We never want to cut out our public when these players come in, because it's free. It's open to everybody. Larry wanted it free, and that's the way it should be. In the mornings, we have the senior group, the 55 to death crowd. They're out there from 6 in the morning to 10, until it starts getting hot, and then we all kind of leave, and then in the evening it fills up again. And of course, we have the tournaments, which we have been having 2 tournaments every year. But last year we had the virus, couldn't do it then. And then this year we renamed the Firecracker Festival that Larry really pushed, and we called it the Larry Kreitz Memorial Firecracker Festival. And this is the shirt from it. Michelle's got a dozen back here, extra large, large, medium, small, left over because our final day we got rained out. And we lost about 130 people from that, so I got left over. And these they should be worn. So anybody wants them, we're going to leave a couple bags worth of shirts here. And by the way, this little medal on here that you see on the shirt, this medal is one that Larry actually designed. The first one we had me and a couple gals in there, and they were talking about the color of blue being periwinkle blue or something else. And, it made my hair catch on fire. And Larry just said, what's to think? Red, white, and blue, period. It's Firecracker Festival. And so that's what we took it from right there. Is there any questions on anything I wrote in here?
That resurfacing,
Yes.
how long will that last? Do we know?
Well, this time it lasted, what, Greg? I forgot, 5?
Well, I'm trying to remember. It was
I've got records at home.
4 years ago?
Yeah, well, let's see. I got the bid in there from the original one. It's not that anymore. Did you get this in here? That was included?
Mhm.
Did you include that in there with them?
Yes.
This was what it cost us 6 years ago, $12,900. And from the cost of materials and everything else that went up, but they figure it's a guess, we'd have to get a bid between 15 and 16,000. That's right now. To completely redo it like it was done 5-6 years ago. It's playable. If you could see it if you got down there, what it looks like. It's used. The place is used continuously. I'm not going to have a second tournament this year on Twin City Days. We're going to have I'm going to return that money. We don't need any more. We're going to have a social round robin, which is going to be free. So we're going to open that up to everybody in the community in St. Louis. No skill levels involved. And so there's no reason to use the rest of that. I'm going to ask for $9,000 for next year. Hopefully we'll use it, but probably not. And if you'll notice on this shirt, the way we don't have to spend on advertising anymore. I have to cap tournaments. The logo for the Tourism Commission, we put in red, white, and blue up on the top of the thing. But we don't advertise. We just go online. And if we advertise the tournament, we're filled up in 2 hours. Because we cap it at about 150, 200, just because of the time parameters. Any other questions on that? And I'll get out of your hair right now.
I do, Jim.
Sure.
There's a big gap here.
Yeah.
Between your original estimated between $60,000 and $70,000, and then you're requesting 15 to 16. There's a big price difference in those two items there.
In between 12,000. Oh, okay.
When you asked, it said
Yeah,
that
what I'm saying is-
originally it was going to cost $60,000 to do the courts, and now it's it's come down to $15,000 to do the courts.
Let me clarify. It's an or in there. If we can't get those repairs, if we can't knock down those berms and fix that situation, that parking lot where it doesn't flood, spending 15, 16,000 makes no difference. So we just stay on the $3,000 a year.
Because wondering how realistic that price is. It's just a variance for,
Well, one's just a 1-year repair.
So this is the court and this is for the berm removal and
No.
other, no.
I'm expecting the city to do that. They should be able to remove that berm and dig a trench, don't you think? I'm asking.
I don't know I don't know if that's dirt or rock under there. I couldn't tell you what's under that.
But does everybody understand that difference between the 3,000, if we can't get those repairs, it's fruitless. We might as well just keep repairing it every year, which is what we can do, and repaint it.
Is parking still a problem?
It's always a problem. It's always a problem. That's good, but yeah, it's a problem. But that is a good question, but it's an either or. If we can't get those, some sort of a drain on the north side and the problems with that parking lot fixed, flooding up, because that Sunday of the last day of the Larry Kreitz tournament, when it rained, when Michelle and I know, when it started raining, and before we could get to the car with people, it was that deep in the parking lot. And so, and that water has to go somewhere. I mean, it's going to sink and go underneath, and it's probably been that way forever, hasn't it? With that tennis court there and everything else, it's probably.
It's been a skateboard park one time, a tennis court.
Yeah.
It's been there in that location for a long time.
But I know without your help and without Welch's help, we would have never got this thing going to begin with. And I didn't know anything much about pickleball when it started, but I do now, and it's just growing all the time.
Does my city administrator have any idea if that's dirt under that hillside or is that a big rock ledge coming out of there?
There's a lot of rock there. When we had the forced sewer main put in here.
I mean,
2
it
years ago.
sounds simplistic, but nothing's ever as simplistic as it sounds.
No. Yeah. The larger issue, certainly the issue there is the grade coming down from the bathrooms to the court, the amount of water that's basically coming down the hill and onto the court or under the court. Is a concern. But I think there's some options. Jim's done his research, and I think that gives us something to work with.
Well, also that, Greg, the berm on that south side that protected those houses, I guess, that causes water to back up on that southern edge of the court.
Right.
Both of those things.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Shelley Otek.
Hello. So I'm with the YMCA. I'm the Health and Wellness Director, and I've been doing the Twin City Days and the Thanksgiving Day run this is my 17th year that I've been in charge of it. There are two a little bit different races. Twin City Days obviously is more for our community. And as with anything, it was rained out, and then it was with COVID and with budget restraints, they more or less kept saying it's costing us more and more. You're going to have to get more help. And you guys know what that's like, trying to get a lot of sponsors and donors. It just doesn't happen. I don't know if it's just not as exciting for people to do a run or a walk anymore. But my race chair and I have had a mission. We're like, we're not going to stop this. We talked to Tonda, and I'm like, we might have to downscale, because getting Big River Racing, $3,000, Feet Fleet, $2,500 just to time it. So the guy that times it for me, he's in his 80s now, and he's like, it's too much pressure. So I just said, you have to do it. I can't afford it the other way. And, we go to our board, and, it's just more than you think. It's about $7,000 with porta potties at $350 a piece, needing 3, the timing system, the shirts. If you charge an entry fee, you can really pretty much get your shirts paid for. But there's more than shirts. You got to have safety staff, real staff, and then you have volunteers. But you do have to have staff there that know what they're doing. So as the cost just kept going up, it was just more the thing that in my heart, I didn't want to see Twin City Days stop. I thought, not just for the Y needs to be part of it, but we get a lot of kids and families and their strollers and their wagons. So this year we decided we would definitely do just a 1 mile walk and run for kids, so that it was more doable than just 3 miles. Try to get more families and just keep it alive. We'll have demonstrations. We're hoping to have some music there at each mile marker, just trying to spice it up, whether it be, we talked about a donut run, a cupcake run, a muffin run. Like, talked to the coffee shops on Main Street, since there's so many. I'm like, who wants to do a coffee run and help us? So we are trying to get some more businesses on board with us to grow it. The one thing I thought we needed to do is to bring more people in. So it wasn't just for Twin City Days. So we have a group of runners that do the relay from Festus Crystal to Columbia. and they've been doing that for several years. So I talked to them, and we've got a group from Lincoln High School that wants to come down, which I was pretty excited. I was like, wow, this is really working. It's all about relationships. So you get some of our runners that went into Columbia, and they're like, hey, we've got wineries here too, and you should see our Main Street. So right now we have 28 that are going to come from Columbia. So for me, that was a big win. I'm excited. The other thing, what you do is it's like anything with my kids. Who can you get to come from your school? One goes to Missouri State, one goes to Purdue. You're going to this is what you're doing. So mama says you're bringing some kids in. So actually I have a group from Missouri State coming in, and I have a small group from Purdue coming in for it. So I'm excited about that because we just want to show off our little small town home here. So we're asking for $2,000. Again, it's going to cost us more than that, but we know everybody's asking you for money. So we would appreciate any support you could give us. Like I said, the porta potties, we need at least 3. The timing system, I can probably get down to about 1,500. The shirts, I'm hoping we can get absorbed in the entry fee. The Y is going to, of course, absorb what we can with the staffing and the small metals and the little things that you don't think about. So we're going to do our part on that. Thanksgiving Day workout, which is the next one, that's usually a bigger, and we do see the families come in. We've got a family from Michigan that came in last year during COVID, and they were like begging me. I'm like, we just can't do it this year. Well, there was probably 8 families there, even though there wasn't a run. They parked on our parking lot and they did the Thanksgiving Day workout, which I was thrilled. And I'm thrilled that I see the same people, the couple from New York. The Myers have people from DC that come in. So it's a lot of families here that bring their families in. And they stay for several days. And we want to see that continue to grow too. And it's not just about a run that day. We do all kinds of things. We do different classes and just different games and things that we can try to get kids involved, of course, because we want something for kids to do too. And we're thinking about doing a little doggy walk this year, just every year trying to make it more fun. But it's bigger. That one is a lot bigger. So there's more expense in that as well. So we just would appreciate any support we can get. Terry and I vowed we can't let it die, because you know how it is with corporate, and they're looking at their numbers and saying, this is a really big expense. I'm like, this is our community, and the Thanksgiving Day even goes outside our community, and we're doing everything we can to keep it alive. Sometimes it's just a lot for 2 of us to go begging to see what we can do. So do you guys have any questions about anything you saw on the?
Go ahead.
Sure.
Rhonda.
I was just wondering if what was the total expense, or did you have did I miss that?
I don't know. Our praise chair submitted that, but they had on the proposal, actually, you mean the list of expenses?
Right here, the cost of the,
Let me see.
cost details, 2,800?
It depends on which race was he talking on the.
I'm sorry, I am talking about.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that one doesn't, as far as expenses cost as much, and he doesn't have salaries in that. And he doesn't have the race timing in that. I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but again, the why pretty much had said, well, no, you got to find it, make it happen. I'm like, well, that's kind of hard to do.
Okay.
At
And
this
then I
point.
see the Thanksgiving one says 3,500 and the 5K says 2,800, if I'm reading that right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they did
Cool.
that while I was gone, so I did. But they, again, it's more like, as far as in my budget, it's $6,500 as far as expenses. There's just the marketing, the flyers, the staffing, everything. They make
Okay.
us detail it to the, obviously, I have it detailed to the penny on what
Oh,
it
yeah.
costs, because if I don't, then I don't have anyone to help with anything. So that's what it is on our budget side. But you don't see all the staff expenses on that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so again, our goal is to grow the Twin City Days. We're excited. We're getting some people outside our community here and show off our community. Thanksgiving is just bigger, more people, more events, and we just want to continue to grow it. And it seems like our hands are a little bit tied. So
You already have $1,500 budgeted for November of 2021.
From, you mean in my YMCA budget or you mean this budget?
The tourism.
Yeah,
budget.
it looked like we had approved in December of 20, we approved 1,500 for the November 2021, the Thanksgiving.
Right.
So you had already been, so I didn't know if you're applying for 2022?
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
so we
Yes.
just need to make it as 2022.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we're a little ahead.
Yeah, so the date's in 2021, so I just wanted to make sure
Sorry,
that
yes.
that's what we're doing.
Yeah, when you get hands from like corporate gets in it and then someone else, a marketing person
Right.
gets in it. And I'm like, okay, guys, yeah, it's easier if just there's two people involved, but
And is that the same thing for the Twin City Days? Is it for 2022?
correct. We did not get any money for this
Okay.
year. So
I just
we're on
want-
our own, so we're looking ahead.
Okay, I just want to clarify.
No, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with us, I know.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Sure,
I have a question for you.
sure.
I'm,
Please start.
I'm pretty bad about kilometers to miles. How many miles is a 5K?
3.1.
3.1?
Yes, but we're going to add a 1 mile because I think it's just more doable for people that want to walk or run it, or for a child to run it, maybe with their, like a dad, son, mom, daughter kind of thing.
Well, like I said, the event will be over with by noon.
By noon?
Yes.
Well, if we
I
start
mean,
at
it starts at
9,
8 o'clock in the morning.
yeah. So you think we can get,
I can handle that by noon.
right,
I'm pretty bad.
absolutely. Well, it is so that more people, more families can come and people can think it's more durable, just more doable. And I think it just is more appealing when it's a little less intimidating, maybe.
I just think you're overestimating $150 per family on that baseline. I wish you stopped putting that in there because I don't see
On the
people
what?
hanging around. And on your economics, it's showing $150 they're going to spend. They're going to be here 8 o'clock in the morning. They're going to go home at noon.
So that
I
is
wish you wouldn't
qualified.
Put that on there.
That's qualified. It says if overnight stay is required.
Yeah. When you're done in 2 hours.
Yeah,
You're
I
going to
mean,
spend $100 on a room.
right. No, I mean, I agree. And
I mean, that's straight from the Missouri Department.
I'm
of
being
Economic
bad.
Development. Okay, all right.
no, and again, the Twin City Days, we don't get as many people that stay. This year, we're definitely hoping that we do have some people, especially if that group from Columbia, I know they're staying. So that's exciting. Did you
So
have-
what is the route?
The route starts at Grace Presbyterian and it goes down Mississippi, up by Crystal City High School, down by the park, and then it comes back around down Mississippi.
So it's not in Festus.
And that's something that we could change if that would be, we talked about that. It used to be at the hospital. It was a little dangerous with all the shift people. That's the reason we switched it.
That's not in
From
Festus either.
Right, yes, right. Yeah, I don't know if that's, and that is definitely something that we can do. I don't even know why no one even thought about that. If it's a Festus Tourism
Well,
grant.
this is the City of Festus Tourism Board, so that's
Correct. No, that
my-
makes sense.
position. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think, they're thinking Twin City, they think Festus and Crystal all the time, but you're right, with the Festus Tourism, it makes sense. And actually, we were looking for a place and you'd think that would be easy to find a, whether we thought about West City Park and the people, they don't want to go round and round. And then you got that busy road and it's just finding safe places. When you go to the police, they're like, where is it? And, what kind of crossroads, but I think that's something good that maybe I should bring to my exec and the board out there and say, hey, if the Festus Tourism is going to help us out, then we need to be in Festus. That makes sense to me. Sure. Thanks, guys.
I was talking. Why does it keep going off? You don't have a name. You're just apparently Four Brothers Mead. Dan, okay.
Yeah, Dan with Four Brothers Mead. I wish the Jefferson County Tourist Commission guys were still here. I was going to tell them that was a pretty cool thing. I don't know. I'm pretty passionate about bringing people into our
I'll
community.
pass it on to him. I sit on that board.
Thank you. And we need to see the word mead on that website too somewhere.
Not just wine and beer.
Not just wine and beer. Not just
Mead.
wine and beer.
I'll
Yeah,
tell him.
definitely. So yeah, we are. we are bringing a lot of people into the Festus area. I can tell you that from all over the country. So yeah, Dan with Four Brothers Mead, and we have a lot of cool ideas or a lot of cool events we'd like to plan over the next couple of years. The three that we submitted here are our big spring and fall biking festivals we hold. We've held the fall one, and the numbers that you have in here are from the fall, since we didn't have the spring numbers in our calculations because we hadn't had the full P&Ls done at that time. But the spring one doubled the fall one, and this next fall, October 2nd is the day. I know on the agenda it says October 9th. It is October 2nd. That's looking to be even bigger. So we are looking at making those a little more family friendly as well. We have we're looking at a Build-A-Bear-like booth. It's not the Build-A-Bear company, but it's another mobile company that's coming in and going to be offering not just bears, but all kinds of other things as well. We're working with nonprofits on kids archery, and so there's a lot of all-encompassing, family-friendly, neat things we have planned this year. For our festivals, we have, like we talked about, bringing in people from all over. We have people coming in from Texas, Virginia, Kansas, Kentucky. We're all staying at the hotels around the area, eating the local food. We talked about the Jefferson County Tourist Commission. People were saying about $1 million or 1 million hits, views, and whatnot. We're with the radio ads we're running and everything now, we're getting 1 million a day. So we're getting quite a bit of traffic. People come in from.
I do see that at the hotel. You're doing a great job over there.
Thank
You
you.
make downtown look great too. You're a good added amenity, I think.
Thank you. I
So,
appreciate
and
that.
I appreciate the business. So,
Well, thank you. Yeah, and kind of stepping back, one of the things that we wanted to do is, as veterans and supporting the community, and just to have a nice place for people to feel safe, relax, come and hang out. We're not open till 1 a.m. We're not that kind of place. So we've had a lot of compliments on the city, for people who are coming in, and I think every day I'm there, I hear people come in that are from out of state or even up in St. Louis and say, "Oh, I didn't even know Festus Main Street was like this," or there's a mead place in town. I love mead, and I didn't even know you guys were here. And so we are bringing a lot of people into the area, which is really cool to see. I'm pretty passionate about our Main Street. So I guess the other event besides the festivals is this Rizzuto Day. So 1057 The Point is an alternative rock station in the area, and St. Louis, and they have the morning show, the Rizzuto Show. It's the #1 rated morning show in St. Louis across all stations on the frequency. So they have over 1 million listeners, and we are advertising with them just in general. Should we be granted these funds, we will be advertising with them on this, and each advertisement will include, of course, sponsored by Festus City Tourism or Festus Tourism. So one of the neat things about this event is whenever they do their live events and they're out in public, it's usually 1 or 2 of them. I know Rizzuto comes for the blood drive at Hoods every now and then, and they're all around the area. It's usually just 1 or 2 of them. For this event, all 5 of the guys on the show will be here. And I honestly can't remember when the last time that ever happened was. So and that's just due to their excitement about our product and what we're bringing to not just our area, but regionally. And they're all going to be here. We're turning it into a big charity event as well, with donations going to Kids Rock Cancer and whatnot. So it's, we are putting Festus on the map for a lot of people that had no idea what we had to offer here. So I guess before I continue rambling, does anyone have any questions on anything I've presented here? The numbers are from last fall on our P&Ls. Like I said, I didn't have the spring numbers, but when we first put this together.
Now, my understanding is you don't charge fees for people to participate in your events, or do you?
That is correct. We do not. We do not.
Okay.
Now, for the Rizzuto show day, we will be charging a donation at the door. We're not gonna, it's not a hard, fast rule, but it's a donation, and part of those donations are going to go to the Kids Rock Cancer organization. So, but no, generally speaking, except for that one unique case, no, it'll be, all of our events are open to the family, free events. So, and I think we made that decision early on, and I believe that I wanted people to not feel like they should hold back on their wallets because they're having to pay an entry fee to come to our place. I want them to be able to show up and then not feel burdened when they first walk in. I want them to be able to walk around Main Street, walk around the community, and and spend their money in general, and not having to charge them just to show up. So that's why we made that decision.
How many people do you think is going to attend this event? Just the ballpark.
Sure. The numbers that we have, again, were from last spring or from last fall. Over the springtime, we had over 2,000 people show up for the one-day event. And they were driving, again, from Texas, Virginia, Georgia, North Carolina, of course, Illinois, Missouri, Iowa. We had people from Colorado, not to mention St. Louis, of course. So for a one-day event, we had 2,000 people here. It was pretty remarkable. And we have people, banging down our doors to want to be part of this next event, October 2nd. So I think we could easily look at doubling that number. Yes, ma'am.
What do people get for the $10 donation ticket for Rizzuto again?
Sure.
Entry?
Yes. So yeah, they will get, correct. It's primarily an entry, and and a lot of that is to turn it into a charity event. So the Rizzuto Show guys like doing a lot of charity events, and so do we. We've held several charity events for our Festus first responders and veteran groups and whatnot. So we thought it'd be a good pairing to turn it into something more meaningful than enjoying a glass of meat or getting to see their favorite morning show guys.
And one additional question on all three events. Under expenses, you list flight glasses, 9-ounce glasses, to-go bags, beer, soda, water. Is that sold or?
Yes. So actually, that's a good point, and I guess I should tailor my last response a little bit differently. So no, so a lot of some of this funding and some of the entry fees, we would like to create little usable giveaways, and with the main thing being promoting Festus tourism. So they would have the logos on them and little, not grab bags, but gift bags. Yeah, swag. Yeah, swag bag. Right. So I was having trouble articulating my, so that would be it. So any of these little $200-$300 items is for some swag bag items. Most of this is promotions, radio ads. Every time we get on the radio, it's over 1 million hits. They've got 30,000 people on their email blast. It'll go out to 120,000 people on their Facebook page. And there's numbers in here as well, not on the actual online submitted form, but on the Four Brothers letterhead on the second page. There's some numbers if you're looking for, and this was from 105.7 The Point radio station. They gave us a list of everything that they would do with that money and where it would go to, how many people it would impact. So Now with that, we do see a lot of people staying in town, staying in our hotels, eating our food, and it's really cool to see that. So that's all bundled in with this as well. All the 2,000 people from last spring, the 4,000 hopefully this fall. It'll be a big drive for Festus. So. I could sit here and talk.
How would we do
for a
this?
while.
He has to apply for an open container variance for alcohol. The city has an open container law, so he gets a special.
Yeah, he has his special permitting, and then they've gone through the process of applying, submitting a safety plan and everything else that they need to be able to have a portion of the parking lot blocked off as well.
Yeah,
and that all goes to council.
I know we don't make the decision on this, but I sure hate to fund something. Our police department is totally against it, and it's been floated past them about 2,000 people showing up for a drinking party.
So we
didn't have any complaints with the last festival.
I don't know if you asked ahead of time or.
I spoke to Chief Lewis about the last event. I'll be happy to speak to him about
I
this.
was well behaved last time, I tell you. So.
Thank you. No, so yeah, I mean, there's always going to be a bad apple in every crowd. You're never going to be able to stop someone who's. But I tell you this: we keep things as clean and straight laced as possible. So we do have the military brotherhood, the Viking warrior, how we tie in to each other, and we run a pretty tight ship there, and we absolutely do not serve someone, or when we see someone who has imbibed a little too much, we don't. That's right. So actually, we have worked closely with our Festus Police Department, and we, with our first donation that we made through our as a business went to the Festus Police Department, Fire Department, and we talked to those guys, and they know we have their back, and vice versa, and so everything we do is with the utmost respect of obviously our law enforcement and public property and whatnot. So
I'm sorry, I have a couple more.
yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah.
On the Rizzuto event, it said 3 to 5, or is it actually an all-day thing?
So it's an all-day thing. It'll be our normal hours, 12 to 9. On paper, 3 to 5 is when the morning show guys will be there.
Okay.
Again, they're being paid to be there for 2 hours.
Right.
Now, that being said, we've talked to them, at their studio before and they're going to stick around for a lot longer. So the crowds, the people that come to see them are going to stick around. They're going to go eat dinner and come back.
You had said other bands all day, and I was like, wait a minute.
Right. So, they're on the clock for 2 hours for the radio station. Anything after that is, they're just going to stay and hang out too and have a good time. So.
My next question is on the other 2 events, because other than that, it's fairly similar. You mentioned a VIP tent. Are those tickets sold? Or is it a free event to everybody and just the VIPs pay more, or what?
Sure. So each festival we have the VIP tent, which is our mead club tent. So we have a monthly mead club, a quarterly mead club we're about to start. And the VIP tent, or the Festus Tourism VIP tent, as we'll call it, will be for our mead club members. And there's no fee to enter into the tent other than just being a member of the club.
Okay.
Yeah, and any and all advertisement for that, would have the logo, the banners, it would be all over. And if anyone has any other questions outside of this, feel free to get a hold of me, Dan at Four Brothers Mead, or message us. I'm usually the one answering the messages. So I'd be happy to talk it over or phone call, whatever you need to do.
If there's no other questions, then we'll move on to Matt Jones.
Thank you, everyone, for the time.
Thanks, Dan.
I'm Matt Jones with Relaxing in the Park. We're the new kid on the block here, so I just want to kind of give you a little history. 2018, my friends and I, we have cars and trucks and stuff that we travel all over the country with and show. We spend $1,000 a trip whenever we go there. So 2018, I come back from a show from the Gulf Coast and said to my one friend, we need to do this in our own backyard so we don't have to travel so much, things like that. Thought about it a little bit and it became reality. So 2019 is our first show. We had it in Arnold. We had kind of a setback with that because of the flooding. We were going to have it in the park. The flooding, canceled that. So we ended up having to move it to Jefferson College. We had 263 entries. And packed it into Jefferson College parking lot. It was tight. So knowing that and knowing the situation with Arnold and the flooding and all that kind of stuff, we then had to find a new place. At first we were thinking we would have it in Arnold. There's really no other places to go around there besides a hot parking lot. So that's what Jefferson Barracks came about. We had it at Jefferson Barracks. Well, because of COVID, we had to cancel it in 2020. And then this last year, we had it in May at Jefferson Barracks. We had 406 entries. Because of the COVID restrictions, we were able to monitor with how many spectators we had. We had a little over 2,000. I put 2,000 on here, just rounded it off. But so we did get an accurate number on that too. But obviously with 406 entries, we outgrew that spot. We had the auditorium. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jefferson Barracks, where the stage is at and stuff, but we couldn't fit anybody else in there. It was that packed. So that led us to where we're at now. We had to brainstorm, figure out where we could go. I just happened to drive by Larry Kreitz Park and see that it was not, I knew there was a stage there and stuff too. And that's why I contacted Barb to see if we could, lock down that place. And we did. But the area there is it's huge. It allows for growth. There's tons of room there. I'm not originally from this area, so I wasn't really familiar with Festus downtown until I went to this cruise just a couple of months ago there. And, just like you were saying, the atmosphere down there is amazing. We're non-for-profit. We don't make any money on this at all. We give, this last year, we gave all the money that we made to local schools. So we're not looking to make money. Now it's more of a just bring in as much stuff as we can as far as cool vehicles and stuff that you'd see in magazines and things like that where we don't have to travel. And after seeing downtown, bring it for the city. It's amazing down there. So we've talked a little bit about, the cruising down there and stuff like that. This last year we did, as far as bringing in money to the community, it is a 3-day event. We did sell just actually 252 rooms. I put 250 on there just to round it off, but it's 250 nights in hotels there. So you do the figuring on that. That's a good amount of money there to the community. People staying and eating. We have people from 16 different states. Not everybody is into car shows and things like that, but not everybody's into, maybe drinking beer or something like that too. But if we can all get together and bring these events to Festus and show everybody what downtown's all about. So the parks, all that stuff. So, like I said, we're the new kids. I just want to introduce myself and kind of tell you what it was all about. But any questions for me?
Are you going to have vendors out there?
Yeah. Yep. We went through St. Louis County, obviously last time, which is a very big hurdle, especially with COVID and stuff. So I don't know that some of those people were from St. Louis area. I don't know if they'll make their way down, but we invite any vendors. We'll contact any vendors, try to get them out there. There's obviously plenty of area, plenty of electric. The park is really set up nice. So the possibilities are endless.
And people come and they leave their cars for 3 days?
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm now divorced,
And we're
but I
talking-
was drugged to
we're-
many car shows and I
Yeah,
never
and
was
these
in a
are-
3-day.
these are $100,000 vehicles. You know, they're not a $5,000 car that somebody bought. It's, you know, but we've had the same thing with when we had in Arnold, we had 0 issues. We had 2 off-duty officers that we paid to, you know, walk the place. We did the same thing at Jefferson Barracks. We had to have park rangers. You know, we would do the same thing. I think we talked about that, you know, with Festus too, just to make sure. But we've had 0 issues with any of that, any problems. So
How do you get the advertisement out on that? Or
mainly Facebook. So that would be, I feel like we have, social media is huge. I mean, it's a free form of getting it out there. We have such a, because of all the years we went to car shows all over the country, we have a big, you know, base of friends. So we get it out there, they share it and they share it. That is one thing that we would like to focus on is more, I feel like we have a very good showing of, you know, with 16 states representing. I feel like we need to get more of the local people. So that would be nice to have some fun. Advertising is expensive. Facebook's free, but you know, like guys earlier with radio stuff and things like that, it's not cheap. So, and maybe with you all's help on some of that too, advertising.
yeah, the websites,
Yeah, things like
JCTC.
that. Yep.
Yeah, Festus, City of Festus, their site.
I'm sorry, my hearing's not the best in the world, but you were proposing to bring this to West City Park?
Larry Kreitz. Is that
Larry
it?
Kreitz,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Larry Kreitz Park. And how much of that park you think it's going to take for 400 cars?
It'll for sure take where the stage is at, that whole grassy area. And I would say we'll even overflow into the, if you were, let's see, that would be the, I guess the north. There's a huge field where soccer's played and stuff. We would probably overflow into that even.
See, it's quite a large event, and I'd have a car that's not worth hundreds of thousands, but I would leave my old car there for 3 days. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
It's a convertible with the top down, so
Yeah, I probably wouldn't leave a convertible with the top down, but people, they do.
He said they have security
Yeah.
too, so.
well, you know, I was going to say, if you've seen the park, there's no asphalt there. I mean, if it rains, that's what I'm curious about, you know, depending on the weather, but we have no asphalt to park anything on out there.
Well, yeah, you do. There's a parking lot across the road, which I know wouldn't hold 400 plus vehicles, but then there's the parking lot on the side with the field. We've dealt with diversions before with the Arnold situation.
I think we can handle 200, but boy, 400 would be nice, but
Yeah, I think we would figure it out. Yeah, there's a lot of space there. There's a lot of asphalt actually too. So hopefully we wouldn't have to run into that, but you know.
And you already have the park reserved?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to make sure that it was available and there weren't 15 other things going on that same day.
yeah, cross country racing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a.
This would be good. These bring in, we go to some car shows. This brings in some good business for the community.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you figure right now, the majority of our people that show up, because my wife actually does all the spreadsheet for the registration and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, we see where they come from and all.
And they really do stay. So
Yeah.
I run a hotel in town, so
Yeah.
I'm already liking the sounds of this. And then they got to eat places, drink places. So
The majority, and we're, you know, ideally, the past years we've had a cruise on Friday night, and then on Saturday night we would have, you know, an event somewhere. We would actually like to talk to, no offense, but Main and Mill, and have an event on Friday night there, use the back parking lot. And I mean, it'd bring in a bunch of people there.
It will.
And then Saturday night, it'd be nice to have a cruise. But the majority of our people right now are from out of town. The majority, that's why it would be nice to get some of the locals involved. So.
Okay.
And what time of day is can people go look? I mean, what time is?
We open up at 8. That's what time spectators can come in. And it lasts till around 5. So, and then this past year at 7 o'clock, we closed everything off to where we had our as park rangers in. They took care of everything and nobody could come in or out. So that's where the security thing came in. So, and that's where we also had the events afterwards to kind of take those people and bring them into the community. We've never had, though, you figure everything last year was focused on Lindbergh. That's where the hotels were, all that kind of stuff. So everybody was on Lindbergh spending their money. You know, we've never had an opportunity where we have something like Festus where everything could be centralized, you know, and you know, have a good time there. So.
Do we have any other questions for Matt?
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So now we're ready for the Barb Show.
All right. So first up is the Dirty Dozen. And last year was, well, I say last year because it's already happened. So the one that we just had in May was a pivotal year that y'all had said, this is a do or die. They said that about 20 and then we had to cancel it. So it was a do or die. And we had 175 people that came out and participated in this year in 21. I think 90, 95, something like that was the most that we've ever had. And it was fantastic. People were muddy and smiling when they got done. I think that there was a larger turnout. Number one, everybody had sat home for a year. So, you know, I laughed. I told Greg, I don't know if they're coming out because they want to do this or they want to do something. And honestly, I don't care. I'm just glad that they're here. But we lowered the age that they could participate. So instead of being 13, you could be 8. You had to have obviously an adult with you when you do that. But there were a lot of family groups that came out and did it, or, you know, a kid and 3 or 4 of his friends and somebody's dad came out and did it, you know, but I saw moms and daughters out there too. So, like I said, everybody was muddy and happy when they were done. But we do need to rebuild some of our obstacles. You know, we really haven't built anything new since we started. So there are some obstacles that need to be rebuilt and some new ideas we had in mind. So that's that one. We did lower the entry fee. It had been $40 a person and we lowered it to $30 a person. I think that helped also. And then we also did a special if 6 people signed up at once. Everybody had their forms in, everybody had everything done and they signed up at once. Then 6 people could sign up for the price of 5, which made it $25 a person instead of $30 a person. And there were a lot of 6 group, you know, that came in. So I think that was a help also. I don't know if there's any questions about that one or.
Well, I've
I know.
never been a huge fan of this event. And, you know, $27,000 for 175 people just seems. How long?
Again, if we don't, you know, like the 10,000 set aside for materials and supplies, obviously if we don't spend that much and we wouldn't just go out willy-nilly and say, we've got it, let's spend it. You know, but there are some things that, like I said, do need to be rebuilt and some new ideas that we did have.
I love this kind of stuff, but it is expensive.
It is.
And I see that you're showing where people are coming from, but how long, what time is the event? What's the?
Well, it starts this past year, it seems like the first heat left, I don't know if it was 8:20 or 8:40. And then every 20 minutes we had another heat that started.
And then when's the event over?
Our last heat left at noon. So,
Okay.
30 minutes later, 45 for stragglers.
I mean, I don't know if they're muddy. Are they going to go eat in town?
Well, the fire department is there to help people hose
Right.
off. And we let everybody know that the fire department is there. And then, I would bring a change of clothes if,
I mean, I love this, so don't get me wrong. I'd be the
Right.
person wanting to do
Mhm.
the event. I'm
Mhm.
just thinking about, is the community, are we
Benefiting.
getting any? You're right.
Sure.
Are we benefiting? Because once you're wet and muddy, you're not going to
Right.
want to go to a restaurant or go shop at a store.
Right.
And I didn't see any business as far as the hotel.
Sure.
Not that I'm the only hotel in town,
Right. I
but
understand that.
it is a lot of money. So I don't know.
Okay.
I'm torn because I like it.
I understand. I understand. Was there any other questions about that one? Okay. So Swinging Under the Stars is a great event. Again, it's got a good following. It's a big band, typically the Mob, under the direction of Joe Pappas and with Joe Scalziti. People like them. People come out to hear them. So this is that event. It was on a Sunday evening this year. And again, there was a good crowd that was out there.
I need to pre-approve the date because I've not been able to make it yet.
Okay. I'll tell Joe. Well, what's your calendar look like? They are here the 29th of August also, which is a Sunday night for Swinging Under the Star. I'm sorry, Sundays at Sunset. So.
Okay, hopefully I can make that.
Hopefully.
And what are you asking on this one? Is it, are you asking 5,800? I'm
Yes,
sorry.
ma'am.
Some of them it's like real spelt out and others, okay, got it.
Keep going. Okay, the mayor's summer cruise, typically the first Saturday in June. I didn't have a band at the last one, in the one that we had in June. And I don't want a band. In fact, the one in September, I don't want to band it, but I do want some music. So there's room in the budget for a DJ. It's nice because a DJ can do several generations or decades with different genres of music. So there's a little bit of something for everybody. So I do like that.
Yeah.
So that's what I would like to do. Again, with the dash plaques, people like those. Car show on on the library
Gotta have
parking
them,
lot.
gotta have them.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what that one is for the mayor's summer cruise. And then the Firecracker Festival for the entertainment. I'm hoping for no rain this year. So again, and I heard from the lady who we do all of our booking through, she's starting to work on a list for next year, that we could potentially choose from. She said it's a little early in the year to know who's going to be available and when. So this just gives us the opportunity to be able to choose first from the list, when she gets it to me. It's the entertainment, the headliner on Saturday night, everything it takes for them, the sound company. You got to feed them a couple of times. You've got to have ground entertainment. You've got to put them up in a hotel. So that's what that would take care of. And insurance for the event, because we learn. The next one is the Blues and Funk Festival, and this event is actually getting ready to happen. This is 4/22. So it's band, sound company, the bubble bus, keep the kids happy. Mom and dad will come out and hang around. So that's the Blues and Funk Festival. Beginning of August when it's hot. I'm just going to keep rolling. If you've got any questions, stop me. So Sundays at Sunset is 5 weeks of different band every week. I'm curious to see how the timing will go this year with 2 dates the end of August, skip Labor Day weekend, and then 3 dates in September. But it seemed like before that, October was cold and rainy on some nights. So I'm curious to see how this timing this year goes for that. I keep looking to see if you. Yes.
What kind of turnout?
Typically, I think it's a pretty good turnout. 200-300 people. Yeah, and it's the mob brings in the biggest crowd this year. The last night we have Buddy Jewell, who's a Nashville recording artist, that's coming. That's coming the last night. So, yeah. And then the Mayor's Fall Cruise, same thing as the summer cruise, just on a different date. DJ cruise, car show, Dashplex. Santa House, I've got the dates in there for that. Last year, Santa House did get painted. The Painters Union came in and painted it. A couple of guys from there didn't charge us anything to do that. So, yeah. So this is for Santa House with candy canes for the kids. And then Santa's, of course. Winterfest, first Saturday in December. I don't know if you guys have any questions about this, ma'am.
This ice rink, the skating ring, is
Yeah.
it? Should we, meaning you, come up with a new idea or something to draw? Because
Well, the skating rink is the same. I mean, I can get rid of it if you'd like. I do different, the inflatables are different every year. And then I've got different, like this year, there's a magician that's scheduled. I say this year, this is what was scheduled in 20, and I plan to, do that again in this year because we didn't get to have it. But there were going to be different characters that would walk around for different hours for picture opportunities for everybody. Then there were going to be stationary shows, like hour-long shows, a magician or a hula hoop or fire eating or something like that. And they were going to swap back and forth. So maybe this hour, sit here and watch this. And that would give us the opportunity to space kids out if we needed to, not knowing what level we'll be at in December. And then the next hour, a character walking around, so they get up and they're moving around and can get their pictures taken with this. So I was going to do that, and that was going to be different this year. Of course, we'll have the face painters there because the kids love the face painters. And when I talked to them last year, they had been working on doing special designs where the kids could have masks on, and the designs were more going to be on their foreheads and things like that. So they were working around that. And then kids like the balloon characters, the guy that twists the balloons and stuff. So that was it. But I mean, if you want me to find something else besides the.
sometimes when you do the same things over and over, it's a big draw, but I wasn't sure that the skating rink.
There's people on it a lot. So not me, I have weak ankles and they break. But, yeah, I mean, it gets used, but I do hear what you're saying. Absolutely. Yeah.
I've never been, but I would think because you have to, where to go to ice skate is in Clayton or Forest Park?
There's one in South County.
Is there really?
Spross.
I would think that's why it would be like appealing, but I agree that sometimes if you keep doing the same thing over and over, it's not as exciting, but maybe this is because it's once a year and, and they're a little hard to.
People that ice skate all the time, from what I hear, are not going to like to ice skate on this just because it feels, it's not ice. It doesn't feel right.
Right.
But the little kids who've never got to do it before, or this is their only opportunity to do it.
Yeah. It's not like a swimming pool or, something a little bit different, not as accessible to get to.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
I don't know.
And it's cheap enough. What they pay for this. In fact, the whole event, parents have to say no so many times. You guys are parents, you know how expensive it is, especially in December. There's taxes and Christmas and, you know, all that other stuff. And so it's this event, and I try not to cry when I start talking about it, because parents don't have to say no. They can come out and all they have to do is say yes and play all day long, because everything that we have is for adults and kids. You know, the adults can do the inflatables just as much as the kids can. The same with the ice skating, and, you know, the costs are just so nominal that they don't have to say no. Even, you know, even families that, you know, things are really tough, they can come out and play and have a good time and don't have to say no. So, but I hear what you're saying.
All right, we'll vote yes. Gosh, you had to shed a tear and everything. I'm just kidding.
You know, it's like Sarah McLachlan in the ASPCA commercials. Oh, I'm not. Trust me. That beagle at home she thought that Sarah was going to shoot a live commercial at our house because she didn't get as many treats as she wanted the other day. So, yeah. So then I've got the boot camp and the yoga and the Zumba in the park. And these totals are for a summer or spring and a fall session. So 2 sessions on these. You know, it seemed like when the Friends were doing these, they had good turnouts and people wanting to do it and enjoying it. So I thought, well, we don't have anything like this going on. So, you know, let's try it and see what happens.
So this will be the first time for this?
The first time for me to have anything to do with it. The Friends of the Park.
Yeah, I remember the Friends
used to do this every year.
And, you know, a lot of them it was their friends, and, you know, I'm kind of curious with them not putting it on and Barb's putting it on, how many people will show up? I mean,
yeah,
just being real.
That's a good question. That's a good question, but it might be something that people come out and try. Number one, because it's free. Number two, they want to see what it's about. And this is a chance to do that.
Right.
And then if it's something that they like and want to do, then they can explore other options to do it.
Will this be at sunset again, or?
Well, it could be at sunset. It could easily be out at the stage at Larry's Park, where there's lots more room to spread out. Now, I did talk to Greg, and if there was a rain day, we could use 406 West Main just for rain days. And that, of course, would limit the number of people who could participate on that specific day. But otherwise, that's a big dang field out there. Yeah. Yeah. So that's those 3. I don't know if you want me to speak individually about them.
So each one, you're asking $7,100 for 2 sessions
So
at each one.
it's $35.50 a session, roughly 71 total. For both.
What's the miscellaneous? I'm sorry, what is it?
In case there's something that I haven't thought about that pops
the
up at the
forget.
last minute,
I
but
forgot that.
Not having done this before, that's
Okay,
what
I
that
got you.
is.
Cushion.
So if I go, oh, yeah, you needed that, ding dong.
Do you think we need as much advertising? Do you think that Facebook and the Festus Focus and those sorts of things wouldn't?
It could.
Because,
I honestly
the
don't know.
Friends never spent, I think we put a little, ad in the leader
Mm-hmm.
at the start of the, not weekly, but
Right.
at the start of the.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a legitimate question, and I don't know the answer to it, but yeah, I mean, we can figure it out. Yeah.
When
Yes,
they're
ma'am.
each 2 6-week sessions, but you got 3 of them. So how would they run? Not the same weeks?
They could, just
6
on
weeks.
different evenings.
Okay. Then the advertising could be cool.
Yeah, that's true too. But yeah, different evenings. I don't see them on the same evenings. But yeah.
Yeah, that would cut down on the advertising big time, because you're advertising for all 3 or
Right.
this week, this several
Sure.
long, it
Mhm.
would help if
Yeah.
that cost
Yeah.
could be pulled down.
No, absolutely. Okay, and then this one where I've got advertising with Feast Magazine, I should have labeled that as out of market advertising. So that's my bad. So we have typically, we've been advertising with Feast Magazine, and that's been an ask that Greg has done every year. And we like Feast Magazine, but we kind of are wanting to explore other options also. I've been talking to the guys with Hubbard Communications about stations in St. Louis, which is, like Dan said, The Point, The Arch, ESPN, WIL, and KSHE. So those are some other avenues that we're wanting to look at. So possibly if this was approved, we could do some with Feast and some, with the radio stations in St. Louis. So that's what that is. So if you look at that as out of market advertising and not just specifically Feast.
Yeah, I'd like to see us wander in other areas with this.
Yeah.
Because JCTC,
Mm-hmm.
they've been having some good luck going in that other route.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Yes.
money better spent. And sometimes you don't know unless you try.
Right.
Also.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's what that is. So that is all of mine, except for the scrim. That was what you guys had amended to put up next. Yes. So Josh was busy today and one of his guys was off. So I told him that I would take care of this. And he says that the scrim, which is the backdrop that goes up on the stage behind whatever act is up there, he said is just getting kind of ratty looking and needs to be updated and, need some help. So that's what this one is.
Out of everything you asked, this is the cheapest.
Josh asked for it though. It is Josh's.
That's why it's cheap.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's any questions about anything. Okay.
Not for me.
Okay, Steph.
All right. So we had our budget meetings last week. So this is our preliminary budget. So you can see the salaries and advertising and a few other things in there. I estimated it at 52,000 for now. If you guys have any specific questions on any of the line items, I will do my best, but if you have any questions. And the other miscellaneous includes money for conferences as well for Barb. So that's why the increase went from 1,500 to 3,000.
Okay, any questions for Stephanie? And something, I'm not sure if Matt is aware that we don't make a decision today on approval. Yeah, I figured that. So, and
I do have one other thing. So I included in your packet that because you're sponsoring the Twin City Days, that they are giving us a golf team. If any of you are interested in playing, please let Greg know, because it won't be me.
do we get lessons?
Everything you can learn in 15 minutes.
And then as far as the next meeting, I'm not sure how many days you guys want to look over everything to make your decisions. If you have any ideas on dates or.
Don't we normally just do it the following week or do we wait 2 weeks? I mean,
Yeah.
for me,
Whatever works for you guys.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just throwing that out there. If you guys have any dates that, you don't want to meet, or I know that, or if we want to meet a week from today at the same time, if that works, it's kind of up to you.
I have a board meeting at 5:30 on that day.
Okay.
Is it possible to meet it an hour earlier at 2:00?
Is that okay for you, Melody? I mean,
Yeah.
Oh,
Can we do it sooner or later this week, or is that too soon? After Monday next week, My husband has a complete shoulder replacement, so I'll be out of pocket. So it'd have to be the following week, like August 9th, 10th, something. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just basically going through line by line saying how much you want, you first and second, and it's pretty short.
It is pretty short.
I have to leave by 5.
I think you would be okay at 3 if we did it.
Yeah, today's 4:30 and these last the
And these are
longest,
the
I think.
longer. Yeah,
Okay.
so next August 2nd at 3. You guys go with that?
I am.
I am.
Okay.
Mike, is it okay with you? Okay.
I'll check the schedule. I'm pretty good.
Are you okay? Is that okay with Maggie, Mike? Okay. So,
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.